Hello, this is Mercedes from PrettyWebs.com and welcome to this demonstration. Today we're going to be using PowerPoint and two font designs, and we're going to be creating something similar to what you see on the screen right now. First, I'm going to walk you through how to vectorize individual font letters and use them to create stunning graphics that will attract attention to your message. And then the second part of this demonstration, we're going to go through how to create templates out of letters and objects that you can use over and over again for creating social media and blog content. Let me briefly go over some of these that we've done. This one right here was made with the Zeek font, letter S. So this is actually the letter S, and we turned it into a placeholder and added the image behind it with an inner drop shadow to make it look like a piece of paper. This one right here is the Savage letter I and the letter J. This whole pink section is all just the letter I. It's just a whole bunch of paint strokes, or what I think look like paint strokes anyway. Duplicated this one right here. I stretched it out a little bit more. Some of them are smaller, some are thinner, more narrow, but they're all just kind of stacked on top of each other to create this paint effect right here. This is a letter J, and it actually came out a lot more right here, but I went ahead and cut part of it off to create this look right here. This one right here is also the Savage letter C, and I didn't make any modifications to this one. All I did was change the color and flip it, so we have two letter C's wrapped around each other to form a circle. The fonts that we're going to be using today are Zeek and Savage. These two fonts were featured in a roundup post that I did last week on cool fonts that are free to download and free for commercial use. This font right here is actually part of that same roundup that I did, and this one is also available free for download and is free for commercial use. You can check out my post that I did last week to get links to all of these fonts, and I will have a link in the post for this as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by inserting a new slide here on the top. It's going to be the third one over. Insert, new slide, very first section right here. We're going to put in a blank slide, and then we're going to insert. We're still here on the insert tab, and we're going to insert a text box. We're going to be adding a letter, and then we're going to vectorize it. Okay, and we're going to use the Zeek font to do this. Zeek, and I'm going to change the font size to something really big. Okay, and once we have the font size, we're going to be using the letter L. Now, if you don't see this, you probably have your caps lock on if you're using this font. This particular font doesn't have any uppercase letters, so if you try to use something uppercase, it's just going to give you a blank screen. So make sure that you're using lowercase letters. Okay, once we have the font, and I went ahead and placed it on its side because we're going to use it kind of as a paint smear there. We're going to insert this time a shape. So we're back at the insert tab up here at the shapes drop down menu, and we're going to insert a rectangle, and we're just going to hold down the left mouse button and drag it all the way across until it covers the entire object. And we're going to send this to the back. And it doesn't matter how big your rectangle is, it just matters that it covers the object that you want to combine it with. So with this rectangle selected, we're going to hold down the Shift key and keep that held down. Now, when I let it go, you see you just get the regular cross right there when I'm holding it down. When I click, it's going to add. Okay, so now we have the rectangle and the object selected, and we're going to go to the format. Under drawing tools up here, we'll go to format. If you're using an older version, it's probably like an orange color up here, or a different theme, I should say. It's going to be a different color up here. Let's see. And then we're going to click on merge, drop down menu, and intersect. Now what we've done is we've turned the object or the letter that we had in front into a vectorized object. If you go over to edit shape, edit points, you'll see that you have all of these different points that you can work with here. So if I want to grab this and extend it way out there, make some crazy shape, I can do that. On the same token, if I want to remove some of this, say I think this is coming out just way too much, I can also remove some of this here and modify this shape to fit my needs exactly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that and leave the shape exactly as the designer created it. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is grab this shape that I've just created, and I'm gonna right click and copy this to my clipboard. Now I'm gonna click on view. We're gonna go to the slide master. I have a blank slide here, and I'm gonna paste it. Right click and paste, or Control V on your keyboard to paste it. I'm gonna set that off to the side, and then while I'm here in the slide master view, I'm going to go to insert placeholder, and I'm going to choose picture. I'm going to hold down my left mouse button and drag it all the way across to create a picture placeholder, and I'm going to put the object in front of it. It doesn't matter how big this is at this point. You can change it. It is a vector object, so it's you can make it bigger or smaller, and it's not going to affect the quality of the shape at all. So right now we have, because we added the shape first, the picture placeholder is actually above the shape. So what I want is to have that underneath. So I'm going to send that to the back, and then I'm going to hold down my control key. I already have my picture placeholder selected, and this should always be selected first. So once we have that selected, we'll go ahead and also select the letter object, and right now we're here in drawing tools under format, and we're gonna go to merge drop down, and we're gonna intersect that. So what we've done is created a picture placeholder from the object that we had there. And we can make this bigger. You can make it smaller if you like, but we're gonna make it bigger for this demonstration, and that's it. We're gonna go back to the slide master, close that. Okay, so now that we've got that placeholder made, I want to show you why we went ahead and made the placeholder instead of just going ahead and adding an image inside of this shape. So I'm going to make this bigger, and I'm going to add, so since we already turned it into a shape, we are going to fill it with a picture. Browse. And by the way, the images that I'm using here, these are from a coral set that I got from Creative Market, and I'll leave a link for this as well. This is, I think there are like 30 or so pictures in this coral set here. So if you're interested in that, I will have a link on the website for it. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the outline, the blue outline that it has. And it's a little difficult to see here. This one actually looks pretty good. But if I didn't like the position of this, what I would have to do is come in, and if you press on, or if you click on this little arrow, it'll give you some more options here on the side. Make sure that you're in shape and not in text. This is no longer a text object, it is now a shape. So make sure that you're on shape. And we're gonna go to the fill. Okay, we're gonna, so if we tiled this, we could bring it back to its normal shape, and you know, you'll kind of see where the shape starts to duplicate here. You may or may not be able to see this. It's kind of a really light color, but moving the shape inside here can get a little bit time consuming. It's not so bad, and it's a lot easier when you're using patterns and textures, but with a picture, because sometimes what you want is way up here somewhere, so you have to kind of move things around a lot until you find exactly what you want. See, and when you actually move the picture or scale it, it just kind of just a little bit more time consuming doing it this way. When we do the picture placeholder, it's just a lot more control over the picture behind this. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna delete this, and we're gonna add a new slide using our picture placeholder that we just created. Use this one, and what I'm going to do is actually change the background color so we can see this really well. Lighter color, something like that. So now that we have this picture placed inside of our image placeholder, it's very easy to manipulate it by using the crop tool. So we're coming over to the picture tools, format, and go over to crop. And you'll see that now you have the option of just moving the picture around really easily behind the frame. You can expand it, make it smaller, and you've given yourself a lot more control over the image. So just hit crop again. And it's so much easier. And not only that, if you save a PowerPoint file with all of these, if you've created a whole bunch of objects that you like to use, then you can easily just come back. I'm going to create a new slide, and I want to change the layout here. I created this one earlier. This is this shape, this pink shape in the back. All I did was select all of that, copy it, and then went through the same thing that we did with this one to create this image. This is a template that I created, so it's pretty easy just to add. I'm going to put this picture in there. So we just added a photo into this frame, and it was super simple and really quick. With this, you're going to do the work one time, and you can add pictures into your frames. You'll have them all in one place, and they're really easy to see. We're going to make another template. This time we're not going to vectorize like we did with this right here, only because the only reason that we actually vectorized this was so that you could understand how to manipulate parts of the object if you need to do that. This step is not necessary in order to make these templates out of letters. So we're going to go ahead and make another one using the letter directly. So I'm going to put in a new slide. I'll just remove all of this stuff here. Just delete everything that's on the slide. I'm going to hit insert a text box. We're gonna use the Zeek font again, and we'll make it 600, really big. And I think we can use the letter O. We'll use the letter V for this one. Okay. We'll move this up into the canvas a little bit. And then I'm just gonna copy it. I'm gonna go back to view the slide master. Go to the slide master, and we'll just grab any slide. We can remove all of this from here. Now it's important that when you have something in the clipboard and you're trying to delete all of this, don't cut it here. It's only gonna remove the object that you have in your clipboard. So if you hit delete on your keyboard, it'll remove everything, and it's not gonna cut it and paste it into your clipboard and replace the object that you have there. So just make sure that you delete using your keyboard, and then you can paste your letter, set it off to the side. We're gonna insert, oops, sorry, we're gonna go to master, slide master, insert a placeholder. We're gonna use picture, left mouse button, drag it all the way down to create the picture placeholder. We're gonna grab our letter. This is still an editable letter. We can change it to anything we want. Even now, it's not, this is not a vector object. This is an actual letter that can be changed. We're going to keep that letter V, and we're going to put it here. And again, as before, the V was pasted first, so it's going to be underneath. So we're going to bring that forward, bring it to the front. We're going to select the picture placeholder first, hold down the control key, and select the letter. And then we are now in drawing format, merge shape, and we're going to intersect it. So we just created another image placeholder using that letter V, and we can now resize it, manipulate it any way you want. Let me keep it a little bit smaller. We'll close the view master, and I'm gonna actually delete this slide. Okay, so we're gonna insert a new slide, and we're gonna use that letter V that we just created. And move this over, and even after you have it in, you can still resize it any way you want. We're going to add that same picture in there, and you can see the girl is kind of the one thing that I want to be the focal point is completely out of view here. So we're gonna go back to the picture tools format, click on crop, and then we're gonna move her over. And I'm gonna make this picture bigger because now we left this whole section off. So I'm gonna shift click and make sure that we get her in there without leaving anything out over here. Click on crop, and there you go. So we've just created from the font design Savage and from the font design Zeke, we've created 1, 2, 3, and we also have these that we've used just the letter objects with, this one and that one. And these can be used over and over again using different images. This will save you tons of time when you're trying to create something unique and special for your images. If you'd like a copy of the templates that we created here, you can get those at prettywebs.com on the post for this video. You'll also find all of the links there for the fonts that were used in this demonstration as well. Make sure to check out other design resources for blog and marketing content available on the Pretty Webs blog and in the shop. You can also sign up for my newsletter to get all of our resources sent directly to your inbox every single month. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips on working with web graphics without Photoshop. And don't forget to head over to my blog at prettywebs.com for even more tips, resources, and free graphics. Thanks for watching.